Jason Garrett, every Monday during the season. San Antonio's sports leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, mybestbailbonds.com.
Second down, a short two. Romo in an empty gun, looking left, looking middle. Pumps, looking right, looking left. Standing. Throwing it in the end zone. Touchdown. Des Bryant. 1:01 to play.
Not get tired of hearing that call from Brad Sham as the Dallas Cowboys rally last night, beat the New York Giants 31-28. It is the Blitz. He is that win. I'm Jason Minix. Let's talk about last night's win with the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Jason Garrett, joining us now on the Wilkes Air Conditioning and Heating Hotline at wilksair.com. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds at 225-2121. Coach, congratulations on the win last night. I know you're already starting to move on to Philadelphia, but let's start with last night's game. 3 minutes to play, 80 yards to go. Tony Romo with a game-winning drive. It was fun to watch. What was it like to be a part of?
Well, I thought it was a really good drive for our team, and disappointing defensively that they were able to have that long drive to go ahead in the game, but was really pleased with how our offensive guys, just had poise and composure and executed ball plays to drive the ball down the field. And I think everybody was really a part of it. Obviously, the offensive line protected very well, really throughout the game, and certainly in that sequence. And a lot of different people were involved. Tony really seemed to be seeing the field well, throwing it to the right guy, and I just think everybody handled it very, very well. North-south runs after the catch, taking care of the football, and again, the protection was really good. Tony was able to get through his progressions, and I thought he saw things well, threw it to the right guy, and obviously the play he made to Dez for the touchdown was fantastic.
Dallas Cowboy head coach Jason Garrett joining us here on 1250 ESPN, ESPNSA.com. Coach, you're talking about one of those situations, and we see you during training camp out there in Oxnard working on situation when you're behind. This is what we got to do. We got to go down and we got to score, or we're down by 4. Scenarios like that happens in games. In practice, you practice those, and now you come out in the game. And how does that feel as a coach when you accomplish those goals, when you set out for your players and teach them those situations?
Well, that's a situation, as you know, that we practice probably more than any other. Mm-hmm. And so many of the games in the NFL come down to those 2-minute situations, whether you're trying to make a stop on defense or you're trying to go down and score the game-winning touchdown on offense. So you can't work those situations enough. Every time you're in one of those situations, it's different. And so the more you do it, hopefully the more you expose your players to the different things that come up, and hopefully they'll handle it well. And we certainly did that offensively. And, the other part of this game was, we scored with about a minute to go, and we're only up by a field goal, and they get the ball on the 20-yard line with 2 timeouts. And, that's a lifetime, a minute with 2 timeouts and only needing a field goal to tie. And, I thought our defense did a really, really good job responding to that situation, creating the 4th down situation that we ultimately made the stop on. So, when you evaluate situational football, you evaluate the 2-minute offense, but you also come back and evaluate that 2-minute defense. And in both cases, our team really stepped up and did what we needed to do to win the game.
Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett here on 1250 ESPN, and you're right. I mean, in that 4th down stop, that tackle, they originally gave it to him. They go back, review it. It's your ball, and I know you were happy with the defense on that drive, but overall, defense struggled some last night, especially the 3rd down defense. Giants go 11 of 16. Were you surprised that the Giants were able to move the ball on your defense as I want to say, as easily as they did? I know it wasn't easy, but as consistently as they were able to move the ball?
Well, there were some positives. The first positive is how well we defended the run. I think they had 32 carries for 89 yards, which was, less than 3 yards a carry. So that certainly was a positive. But you're exactly right in terms of their ability to throw the football. I don't know that we affected the quarterback enough. He was very comfortable back there getting through his progressions. As the game wore on, we got closer to him and disrupted him a little bit more, had a couple sacks as the thing unfolded. But for the most part, we didn't impact him enough, and they were able to throw the ball too effectively too consistently throughout the game. And the other big piece of it was the third downs. I think they made their first 7 in the game. And, you got to somehow, some way get off the field on defense on third down. And there were some of them that were manageable for them, but some of them were longer that we should have been able to make some stops on. And they seemed to do it a few different ways. One of the real positive things for me was coming out in the third quarter, creating 2 3-and-outs for them and getting off the field when we're down 11, giving our offense a chance to close the gap a little bit. So I thought that was a good sequence for us. And again, the last drive of the game when, they have a chance to go down and kick the game winner to create that third down situation and again the fourth down situation and make stops on both of those. I thought that was big for us.
Dallas Cowboy head coach Jason Garrett joining us here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio. And coach, you talk about that run, stopping and running defense. 32 carries, 16 of those runs were 2 yards or less, which is phenomenal for your defense. Was there an issue early in the game with that tempo that they were running there with the offense? Was that because you're so used to using rotating guys and you didn't get a chance to rotate guys in? Was that the problem that we had early on in the game?
Well, anytime you play one of these offenses that play up tempo, sometimes the biggest challenge you have is simply lining up. And, they get into formations and they're going fast and you need to communicate things, even if you keep the same unit out there. And certainly if you're substituting, that presents an issue. So simple communication and alignment sometimes can really disrupt your ability to defend the run. And, they had a couple runs that were positive runs for them, early on where we weren't probably quite where we needed to be once the ball was snapped, and I think that had something to do with their tempo. And as the game wore on, I think we did a better job with that in the running game. But again, not enough stops in the passing game and not enough stops on third down.
Well, and you talk about the passing game. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. had a phenomenal game, 10 catches, 146 yards, probably the catch of the year. The Giants talked about how that was a spark for them as a team after he made that ridiculous catch. Does that have a negative impact on your team for a short amount of time after you see a play like that happen against you?
Well, what you need to do is respond, and if my memory serves me correctly, I think that made the score 14-3, and then we came right back down offensively and went and got a score ourselves. So I thought our unit responded well to that situation. But you're right, those plays happen in a game, and sometimes you can be distracted by it. But the best players and the best teams just simply move on to the next play, and that's one of the great challenges we have, as a coaching staff, is always getting everybody focused on the next play. If we had made a play like that, there's a next play for us. And certainly if you have a play like that made against you, you have to get on to the next one, compete the right way, and really play this thing one play at a time. And I thought our offense responded well. It took our defense until the second half to respond the way they needed to.
And you're talking about scoring right away, and I think it was that shovel pass to Jason Witten. I think this is we've seen watching you for 6 years as offensive coordinator, as a head coach. The Dallas Cowboys, this was a wrinkle that we haven't seen. Was this something that you saw in their defense that was in the game plan?
Well, we've been working that play for a little bit, and it's one of those plays that you kind of have up week in and week out on the game plan, and you try to keep refining it. And, I think we've run probably a couple shovel passes over the last few years, and this one was pretty effective. We ran it from an empty formation, and, to me, that looks like pass. And it certainly probably did to them, too, and sometimes you can invite that pass rush to get up the field and you can get up inside. We had a lead blocker who did a good job on it, and obviously Witt executed it well and was able to get in. So certainly good to be able to cash in on that drive and respond to the big play that they made.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett with us here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. You got to quickly put last night's win behind you. I guess you don't get the 24-hour rule. It's on to Philadelphia on Thanksgiving. It did look like you suffered some injuries last night. Anything devastating that might keep people out of the Eagles game on Thursday?
Well, we'll see. Both Jeff Heath and Jack Crawford hurt their thumbs, so we'll see what their status is as this week unfolds. And Dakota Watson, who we just signed, hurt his hamstring. So still waiting on the results of all those things. But you're right, it is a short week. We're well into Philadelphia. We've already had the equivalent of our Wednesday practice, and we're getting ready for our Thursday practice, tomorrow. We really just changed the clock in the week. So, that's our mindset around here. So we're well into that preparation, getting ready for the Eagles on Thursday.
What about, Tony Romo's normal Wednesday off, trying to get him ready? How did he fare last night, and how's he feeling today? And do you expect there to be any kind of issue on Thursday playing on a short week for your quarterback?
Well, it seemed like he did fine last night coming out of the game, and he was moving around okay. And really, this is a different week for everybody in terms of our practice. We won't have real physical practices at all. It'll be walk-through, jog-through type modes, much lighter practice, while still getting the content that you need to prepare yourself for all the different situations. So, Tony handled the work today. Anticipate him doing it over the next couple days.
Dallas Cowboy head coach Jason Garrett joining us here on 1250 ESPN, ESPNSA.com. We all know about their offense up there in Philadelphia, but the miscellaneous touchdown, the special team, the defense, how much are you focusing more on the special team this week just because the uniqueness of this team, how they score so many times, 2 kickoff return and a punt return already this season?
Well, we always emphasize special teams, as you know, but certainly these guys present one of the biggest challenges that we've seen up to this point. I think they have 5 block kicks. I think they have 4 returns for touchdowns, and those are big numbers. Those are difference-making plays, as you know. So certainly we have to be on the screws against these guys in all phases. The point opportunities, obviously in our PAT and field goal game, in our punt game, making sure that no bad plays happen, and then when we have to go cover both a kickoff and a punt, we got to do a great job running, staying in our lanes, and tackling, because those can really be difference-making plays, and they've been difference-making plays for this Eagle team all year long.
Yeah, it certainly has. All right, Coach, one knucklehead question, because you guys work on everything. Last night, I thought you guys got jobbed by the officials on that fumble down by the goal line because too many guys were in the way. So do you teach trying to strip the football but also make sure there's a clear camera shot? I mean, how do you coach that up?
We don't necessarily teach that technique. There were a heck of a lot of cameras around, and I think I probably saw the same view that you did, because it looked like
it looked like me.
It looked like that ball came out, but they saw it otherwise. And you had mentioned after they had made a big play, how do you respond? In that particular case, I don't think we responded really well as a defense, because that was disappointing not getting that fumble. But at the same time, you have to just go to the next play, and they were able to score on that drive and cash in on the break that they got. And as a football team, if you develop an ability to just continue to respond regardless of what the circumstances are, that certainly gives you a heck of a good chance to win a lot of games.
Coach, I know it's been a long day for you after the win last night, traveling all night and getting ready for Philadelphia on a short week. Appreciate the time. Good luck on Thursday.
You got it. Great talking to you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Jason Garrett, every Monday during the season. San Antonio's sports leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds. MyBestBailBonds.com.